Hey, welcome back to the series that we've been doing on Red's Taylor's version. I've been going track by track to see if I can find a deeper meaning within each of the songs. Today we're on track 12, which is titled Sad, Beautiful, Tragic. I had a really bad day today, so I wonder if Sad, Beautiful, Tragic will make my day worse or better. So let's just get started. This instrumentation is very dark already, so I feel like we're about to get into something very deep.
Long handwritten notes deep in your pocket. Words, how little they mean when you're a little too late. I stood right by the tracks, your face in a locket. Good girls, hopeful they'll be, and long they will wait.
Alright, so let's read back those lyrics. So the first verse says, long handwritten notes deep in your pocket, words how little they mean when you're a little too late. I stood right by the tracks, your face in a locket. Good girls hopeful they'll be, and long they will wait. It almost sounds like someone is leaving, maybe in the middle of the night or this relationship, because long handwritten notes, standing by the tracks kind of makes me think of train tracks, and your face in a locket, it's like you're abandoning someone and you're just left them a note in the middle of the night. That's kind of the story that I'm getting from this, but we'll just have to keep listening.
We had a beautiful magic love there. What a sad, beautiful, tragic love affair.
So I think those two lines were the chorus. So it said, we had a beautiful magic love there. What a sad, beautiful, tragic love affair. That kind of just makes me think that the relationship was tumultuous. It came with its fair share of bad, but it also had some sort of endearing quality about it. Because I feel like a lot of people almost say, like, I would rather have loved than lost. And maybe that happened, and maybe both of those things happened in this relationship, but at the same time, relationships can be viewed as lessons. And just because something ended badly doesn't mean that you're in the wrong place in your life. Because even if you think about the track from Folklore, Invisible String, where she kind of said every bad thing that happened to her led her to the best thing. And I feel like this is just one of those intertwined moments.
In dreams, I meet you in warm conversation, and we both awake in lonely beds in different cities, and time is taking its sweet time erasing you.
I really liked that line. The verse says, in dreams, I meet you in warm conversation, and we both wake in lonely beds in different cities, and time is taking its sweet time erasing you. And time is taking its sweet time erasing you kind of makes me think of how people say you grieve in different ways. Even if it's not about a relationship, it can be grieving for anything. But there's no perfect way to grieve something. Some days, right after an event, you might feel fine, but then 3 months later it hits you. And I feel like that's kind of what the saying is, it's taking its sweet time. It's, it comes in waves or it comes and goes, but that person really had an effect on your life.
And you've got your demons, and darling, they all look like me.
Guess I should have played the rest of that line. Uh, that's another deep one though. And you've got your demons, and darling, they all look like me. That kind of makes me think of like water and oil, where you just don't mix well. And because if you're saying your demons look like your partner, that makes me think that you knew that this was doomed from the start, but you still kept going.
'Cause we had a beautiful magic love there. What a sad, beautiful, tragic love affair. Distance, timing, breakdown, fighting, silence. The train runs off its tracks. Kiss me, try to fix it. Could you just try to listen? Hang up, give up, and for the life of us, we can't get back.
Man, that was a good bridge. Let's read what that said. Distance, timing, breakdown, and fighting. Silence, the train runs off its tracks. Kiss me, try to fix it. Could you just try to listen? Hang up, give up, and for the life of us, we can't get back. With those first lines about distance and timing, this is the second time she's kind of referred to being in different cities and different timings. Maybe I'll backtrack and say maybe it wasn't all about being doomed from the start. Maybe it's right person, wrong time. Because maybe they didn't get a fair shot in this relationship because of the distance. Because if you don't have a stable relationship, long distance is already hard enough as it is, that if you're on a rocky foundation, there's quite literally no way that you're going to make that work. So maybe it has something to do with something like that. And then kiss me, try to fix it. Could you just try to listen? That kind of makes me think that these people had two different love languages, maybe. One person maybe doesn't address the problems head on and tries to fix it with acts of love, while the other ones is like, no, let's sit and talk about it. It kind of makes me think back to a couple tracks ago with Stay, 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 where she said he was wearing the helmet and you shouldn't leave a fight unresolved. And maybe that's saying like they had two conflicting ways of how they thought they could solve problems in their relationship. And then another part with the train runs off its tracks, I think that's an interesting metaphor for a relationship, because a train is typically a one-way trip. And I feel like that's how relationships, you're either going to make it all the way or you're not going to make it at all. So I think that's an interesting metaphor as well. But I really liked that bridge.
A beautiful magic love there. What a sad, beautiful, tragic, beautiful, tragic, beautiful. What we had, a beautiful magic love there. What a sad, beautiful, tragic love affair. We had a beautiful magic love there. What a sad, beautiful, tragic love affair.
Nice. I really liked the instrumentation in this song that I mentioned kind of earlier. Even towards the end, it almost sounded like rain to me, which I don't think it actually was, but it just kind of added to the ambiance of, like lost love. And I really think that that was a good production choice for sure. But yeah, that's the end of Sad, Beautiful, Tragic. This was definitely one of my favorite songs on the album so far. I think this middle of the album, Road, has kind of been my favorite so far because Holy Ground was great. That was the last track. I really liked The Last Time. This one was good. I think we're finally getting into a point where every track is just another home run. So hope this trend continues. But yeah, thanks for watching.